All right, what's up, guys? Welcome. Finally, we're going to do a live scalping session. Remember to hit that like button. We're going to wait for some more people to get in here before I go into the actual explanation of how this is all going to work. and remember, make sure to hit that like and subscribe to the channel. And if you go to the channel's page, you'll see a playlist called something like 100% free technical analysis, something like that. It's basically what I'm doing with that trade list is I'm adding every piece of educational content about my trading system into that playlist. If you go through that playlist and you keep yourself updated with that one, you're going to learn a lot about the way I'm trading and my trading system. I'm going to be sharing a lot of details of my system, and this live stream is going to be one of those. What's up, Yoko? Yoko. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm not butchering that completely. Right. So let's add the actual screen here. So today we're going to talk about scalping, live scalping. So you'll see here that first of all, I kind of want to go through the setup that I have here, the setup with how I have the screen set up and everything, and I can show you. I have my second camera right here. So I'm just going to pull that up and show you. So to the then I have alerts set up for all of these pairs. So to the right here, you'll see all the pairs. You have what's up, BK? What's up, BK? BK Panday, BK Panday. Welcome, man. All right, so we have 12 pairs. We have. I'm not going to go through them all, but these are the ones I have. And what I've done here is I've used the RLZ slingshot to add alerts. Now you don't have to have the indicator to trade this. I want to begin here with just showing how I have all of this set up before we go into the actual. I can show you how we're going to break down the whole system here. What's up, Danny? What's up, Danny? Yeah, I can look at AXS in a bit. Right. So what I have here, if I go to the alert system, the alert panel here in TradingView, and I'm going to type in, you know what? I'm going to bring it up here so you'll see everything better. That's perfect. So I'm going to type in scalping, and when I type in scalping, I'm going to get all the alerts set up that I have. So these are 24 alerts. It's because it's 2 alerts per pair, one long signal and one short signal. And what I do is when I start my trading session, I hold down the left control key, press that one, scroll down, hold shift and press that one. And now I can activate or deactivate all of these scalping signals. And what I do is whenever I get down to my office and I'm ready to start scalping, I activate the signals. And when I leave the office, I deactivate the signals because I'm getting alerts on my smartwatch and my phone and everything. And it's also pretty cool because I can have these alerts activated, and I can be, upstairs doing whatever, and I get an alert and I quickly get down to the office and see if there's any trade available. Now, this is pretty cool because I can be an active scalper without really being that actively watching the chart. So the only time where I really need to be active is when I get an alert and when I'm in a trade. I never enter a trade and then leave the office and let that trade running. When I'm scalping, I always have to make sure that I monitor the trade that I'm taking. Okay, so let's start by opening a clean layout. Would be a plus if I know how to spell clean. And we're just gonna remove price action here, remove everything, all the drawings and everything. And I want to give you guys the very basics. You already know this, but I want to repeat it because repetition is very important. So here we have an uptrend. Now, just like with the RLZ method, the swing trading system, we are looking to enter, and I'm mostly, like when doing the examples here, I'm mostly looking at long examples, but you guys know that it's just exactly the same thing, but in reversed when looking for shorts. We want to enter on the higher lows okay, the potential higher swing lows. And we want to ride this trend for as long as possible. Now, that might be a personal preference. Maybe you want to exit at the first trouble area. Maybe you want to exit higher at a certain fib. Now, this would be maybe the minus 0.618 fib. If this is all confusing, don't worry. You'll understand exactly what I'm talking about in a couple of minutes. And this is basically it, right? And then we have the 20 EMA, and we have the 50 EMA, and we have the stochastics RSI down here, and then we got a couple of fib levels, and that's it. That's what we're looking like. That's everything. So we want to get in on the break and retest, and then we're adding a couple of indicators that hopefully is confident with that break and retest. So far, so good. Shouldn't be very complicated, but if you don't understand what I'm saying, you will very shortly. So we're going to go to the scalping screen number 3. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically is move these screens over to the main screen whenever I see a signal or whenever I see price action that I'm interested in. Like here, for example, we're going to move this screen over here because we're going to be looking at AUD JPY, and we're also going to be looking at Euro JPY. Actually, let's start with Euro JPY because I remember I woke up this morning and checked the chart and I kind of liked what I was seeing here. So I think we're going to bring AUD Euro JPY up here on the big screen. So what I do is I hold the left alt. Is there a right alt? Yes, there is a right alt, but I don't have to say left alt. I'm just going to say alt enter. So hold alt, press enter, and there you go. And then if you do the same again, you're going to get back to the 4 chart. So this is basically what I'm doing, right? When I get a signal, when I get some interesting price action, I press Alt, Enter. Now, this is not a signal on the indicator. And the reason why it's not a signal on the indicator is, first of all, it's not a bullish engulfing candle, and it's below the 4-hour 20 EMA. So the 4-hour 20 EMA goes like this. But what I wanted to show you here on Euro JPY is just that perfect sort of break and retest structure that we got right here. So first you have this downtrend that leads into a range, and we can remove everything here. So what we have here is some sort of horizontal level going right through this level right here. Now, if you remember, I've been doing a lot of live streams and live webinars on, market structure and the break and retest, and this is picture perfect, right? It just goes in the downtrend range, and then you have, the first push into resistance, sort of like a low time frame break and retest right here, but that's the real breakout. This is the real breakout, and that's the retest of the breakout level. Now, this is perfect because this now shows us that we broke above the range, we have retested range highs, we have retested breakout level. This is a good looking break and retest, and look at price just creating that new uptrend. Now let's add back the indicators. Now this, I'm using the RLZ slingshot, but all you really need here is the stochastics RSI, and you need the 20 and 50 EMA. That's all you really need to be able to trade this. Of course, you won't get the signals, but you don't need the signals to trade this. This is just going to make your life a little bit easier. So what I'm doing now is when I have this, I'm adding the fib tool. So from the very low of the move to the very high of this move is where I'm adding the fib. Now, of course, I wouldn't really want to have this wick. So maybe we can go down to the 1 minute to see if there's a better level to put the fib. Sometimes when there's like a big wick, I like to use a lower like candle closure or whatever, but it's kind of like cheating. So I'm only going to do that now for the example of this trade, because I do think that when looking at the 5 minute, this wick kind of makes the whole trend and the whole idea look a little bit different. So just for the sake of this trade example, and to make it kind of look better, and we're going to look at more trade examples, and of course we're going to be trading live if we do see an alert pop up. So I'd like to use this high because it also aligns very nicely, like the fib levels here aligns very nicely with price action as well. And that's something important when adding the fib levels, when you have wicks all over the place and you're in the position where you have to choose between using wicks and candle closes. I would always say use the highs and the lows, no matter if it's candle closes or wicks. But in some certain situation, you might have wicks just all over the place, like just doesn't make any sense, right? And if you instead use the candle closers on the lower time frames, you'll see that the fib levels align much better with price action. So you can see, for example, right here, you see price action aligns very nicely with the 0.786 here. The overall level that we draw earlier, the horizontal level, goes straight through the reload zone right here. And that's what I like to see, right? Now, again, it's not really the right way of doing it, but in some certain situation, it kind of makes sense. And it's all about testing. It's all about back testing and testing this. And that's what I've done. And therefore, I, in some certain situation, go with this. So what we have right here is a break and retest of a horizontal level, right? And we have that first bullish candle, and then we have that second bullish candle. Now, usually what I'd like to do is I'd like to wait for price to get out of the reload zone and then reclaim the 50% fib right here to really be able to enter a trade. So you could look at it this way. The reload zone is basically the area between the 0.786 and the 0.618. That's the magic level. That's the magic area when using the RLZ method. The 50% fib is important only as like confirmation that price wants to move higher. And there's two ways to enter. Either you enter when there is confirmation of a bounce inside the reload zone and you ignore the 50% fib. You just ignore it. So you have one bullish candle inside the reload zone. The next bullish candle is closing above the reload zone, above the 0.618. Now, this is your confirmation that you want to enter. And this is the way you trade this with high risk to reward, but emphasizing on higher risk, because the 50% fib is very often used as resistance. That's why I wait for price to get above the 50, because that means that, yes, it's more likely that I'm going to miss the trade because it's just going to break out and continue. But the chances of having a successful trade and price going in the right direction is much higher when it has reached above that 50%. So entering with the first idea, you're going to put limit orders on the 0.618 when there's a confirmed like break out of this above the 0.618. If you go down to the 1 minute, so check this out. This is very important. And this goes kind of like into what I've talked about with the fractal nature of price action. Going into the 1 minute, you'll see that this is not only a bounce inside the reload zone. This is a break of structure. So the 1 minute goes down into the reload zone, and it kind of thinks like, well, all right, price doesn't think, but I'd like to think that it thinks. So price action goes down into the reload zone, starts thinking, and it's like, I want to bounce here. So it starts jumping. And what happens then is it breaks the downtrend and it kind of gets above right here. And when it gets above the 0.618, that's when a new uptrend is forming. Okay, so you get the break of structure in the 1 minute. The 5 minute is kind of confirming everyone. What's up, man? I do remember you from all my previous live streams and everything. So happy to have you in here. And by the way, a quick comment on all the new videos that I'm adding. I have hired a video editor, which is working on. He's working on all my videos in the background, and I have huge plans for this channel. You might have seen that the quality of my previous videos have gone up exponentially, and I have huge plans to basically give you guys a lot of free educational material here on this channel. So make sure you are subscribed, because big things are happening in the very near-term future here. Right. So with that said, the entry would be on the 0.618. Where would we have the stop loss? Oh, I think the stop loss would be down below that wick, below the reload zone, and below that wick. Now, depending on how you want to trade this, there's one way you can trade this. Either you just exit fully at TP1, which is also the first trouble area. Now let's break it down just very quickly. What is a first trouble area? So FTA, short for first trouble area, is basically the area where you expect price to run into trouble. And when long, that's basically resistance. That would be this area right here, because that's just kind of makes sense. I just think it makes sense. So you would want to exit here. This would be a 1.54 trade. And sorry, guys, I haven't mentioned the stochastics RSI. You notice how when there's a bounce inside the reload zone, you also have a beautiful bull cross and rounded bottom on the stochastics RSI. That has to happen for this whole system to work. If you have stochastics in the oversold area, when there's a bounce inside the reload zone, there's no trade. There's not going to be a trade here. So that would be a 1.50 for our trade. Now, depending on your win rate, you will be very profitable with trades above 1R. If you have a 50% win rate, you can take trades which are 1R or higher. Now, in back testing, this system actually has very good results. And I emphasize very good results. I think on some pairs, the win rate is 70% over the course of 100 trades. Now, I'm forward testing this currently, and I'm not getting the same results. So surprise, surprise, right? You have back testing results looks that word that I can't explain, that you might understand what I'm trying to say. So the back testing results just look fantastic, and then when you go into forward testing, it's not the same, and that's because trading psychology matters. And when you go live, you make stupid decisions, and I feel like I'm very good at that. Like I'm a really good bad decision making person. I'm really good at that. Like that's something I'm really good at. So when I'm going live, win rate tends to drop quite a lot, and that's just something I have to deal with. Now, from two point of view, I have to work on my trading psychology, because scalping is not really for me, but that's also one of the beauties of this. It's a big challenge for me. So I really want to create a very successful scalping strategy. So it's a good challenge. And I really do like that. But the fact that my win rate is lowering, I have to look at increasing my average risk to reward of the trade. Now, what I did in the beginning then was just to exit fully at TP1, so that the risk to reward of the trade would be somewhere between 1 and 2, around 1.5. But what I did was I looked at all my trades and I asked myself, how many of the trades have run higher up to the minus 0.618? Well, quite a few actually. And as you can see here, the win rate is now 4.3, 4.29 to be exact. And even if you enter on the retest of the 50, it would be still, would be nice to have like even on a retest of the 50% fib, you still have a 2.77 R, and you can actually use tighter risk to reward. That's what I like with entering on the 50. You get that tighter stop loss, because now there's more confirmation in the trade. This content has more value and closer focus than in Burb's era. You have evolved well. Yes, thank you. That's I love that comment. It's I'm not gonna hate on anyone else, but I do feel like it's a bit liberating to be able to put parts of the major marketing machine behind me, and just focus on being a genuine trader, and just being myself, giving you guys the value and the content that I like to create, instead of having to business is business, and business is not easy. I got my own company now. I got RLZ trading, and honestly guys, like the whole marketing aspect of running a company is today, in the world of social media, and when everything, like with social media and all the shorts, TikTok and YouTube and whatever, like it's so fast paced, and you kind of have to grab people's attention. You have to kind of like grab them and shake them and scream in their face to really get people's attention. And I feel like I'm more interested in creating, slow, long form content where you're being real and honest. And I think I do feel like we're like slowly but surely kind of moving back to that era of business where everything doesn't have to be all fast paced and attention grabbing. Hopefully, at least we're moving close to something like that, and that's what I want to focus on. Yes, I'm doing my shorts and everything because I do have to focus on marketing in a sense, but we want to keep it real. We want to focus on what's important in trading, and show. I want to show you stuff that actually works, instead of screaming like, do this and you're gonna become a millionaire. Like, you're not gonna become a millionaire. Like, you're not gonna become a millionaire. You're gonna make money, but you're not gonna become a millionaire by scalping the system unless you have a shit ton of money already. All right, so back to back to the system. So you can see right here, and I have the 4-hour 20 EMA. So right here, this is the 4-hour 20 EMA, and this is the 4-hour 50 EMA. Now you can also look at the overall structure here of Euro JPY. This is a beautiful level right here. I mean, I think this is just a great looking level. I think there's something going on here as well. That might be the yeah, that's the monthly open. So we have a couple of levels here to the upside that we might want to use as TP. Now, there is, of course, one argument why this trade is not a good trade, and that's because we're actually below the 4-hour moving averages, and I want to stay in trends that are above the 4-hour moving averages. But I do think that this is really, like, the breakup structure here was just picture perfect, and I do really like the 4-hour 20 EMA up here. But still, this is a 3.44 hour trade, so I'm just gonna run with this one. Okay, so that's gonna be my last TP, and whenever we have cleared, or at least hit the first trouble area, that's where we want to move our stops to entry. So if we go back to replay function here, we got filled here. So on that candle that closed above the 50, that's when I entered limit long orders for this trade. So on this candle right here, I want to zoom in so you can actually see what I'm talking about. That candle right there, that's the candle that confirmed everything. Okay, so first you had that candle that really broke the low time frame structure and confirmed that something is going on here. This candle, however, closed above the 50%. That's the candle that told me enter orders. So orders are going to be placed here. You know what? I'm probably going to use a wider stop loss because of the spreads. Okay, you have to take the spreads into consideration. So I'm filled here, and then we're going to kind of like play through this trade to see how I've managed this trade. I didn't take this trade, obviously, which it's a shame, but I did see it in the morning. I'm like, oh, I should have taken this one. So now we're reaching the point, like the first trouble area. And boom, we went straight through. So now we want to move our stops to entry. Maybe just a little bit higher, just to make sure that we're not getting slipped to hell with that one. And we're going to continue. We're going to monitor this. We're monitoring this live. Remember, we're monitoring this live right now. Price moves higher. It's like, this is looking good. At this point, I'm going to start thinking, take profit, take profit, take profit. My brain is going to yell at me to take profit because this is a nice move right here. But I'm not going to. We're going to keep to the plan here. And the plan is to move our stops with every new swing high until TP has been hit. And there you go. TP would not have been hit here. It's too tight. The spreads would not have. You can look at the spreads right here. We have right now, this spreads are this. That's the spreads. We have around 1.9. So we would not have been hit here. So we're going to continue. And we should have hit TP right there. So that's it, folks. That's a pretty decent trade right here. Now, I want to show you something else with this trade right here. What we want to try to do is we want to incorporate the higher time frames with the lower time frames when scalping. So first, let's just a quick recap. What are we actually doing? Okay, what are we actually doing? We're trading a trend. We're trading a trend with a theory or setup called the break and retest. Now, you guys know what the break and retest are, or is. That's a horizontal level. That's the break. That's the retest. The break needs to be clean and rounded. Now, that means the candle that breaks the level needs to close above the level cleanly. It needs to be a rounded retest without any touches in between the breakout and the retest. The retest needs to happen inside the reload zone on the 20 EMA and the 4-hour, or between the area between the 20 EMA and the 4-hour and the 50 EMA and the 4-hour, while at the same time stochastics is trading below 30, preferably also giving you a bull cross. That's the system. Okay, that's what we're doing. It's super simple. It doesn't get more simpler than this. Now, of course, you can make it very simple and just remove all indicators and just go with this as a pure price action trading strategy, and this works. The reason why I'm adding indicators and I created the slingshot indicator is because I want to simplify things and create something that's automatic and give me alerts. Not 100% automatic, but very close. So that's what we're doing. Now imagine that we're getting a signal here. So imagine that this is now, we're getting a long signal. So I'm watching the shots, right? Maybe I'm upstairs. I'm getting a ping. It's like long signal on Euro JPY. I run down to the office, literally run, and I see this and I open the chart and I'm like, all right, we got a long signal right here. What do we have to do now? First of all, look at the 5 minute. Ask yourself, does it make sense? Yes or no? Yes, it makes sense. It's a beautiful break and retest. It's in the reload zone, blah, 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 blah. Everything looks good. What do we do now? First, what we want to do is we want to go to the 4 hour and we want to ask ourselves, what's the trend? What's the trend? Well, trend, this is not really what I want to see, because the trend is overall, I would say that the trend here, and what I do in that case is I remove all the indicators to make sure that I have a clean view of what's going on. I would say that the general characteristics of market structure here on the 4 hour is a range with bearish characteristics. And basically what I mean is you have range low, range high, and then the middle of the range goes right here. And the reason why there's bearish characteristics is because low, lower low, like generally I'm seeing this. So is this something we want to long? Maybe not. Like, you have to really be honest with yourself when it comes to that question. Are we trading with or against the high time frame trend? And I would say it's like 50-50. What we can do in this case is we can go out to daily, and on the daily we're actually getting, I mean, what I would say on the daily is we had an uptrend right here. We enter a range, and usually what you have when you have a clear range at the end of a long uptrend. Yeah, definitely. All the replays are available on my channel. So just go to my channel, click the live tab, and you'll see all my previous live streams. So definitely, the only reason why I want to watch this live, obviously, is because you can ask me specific questions about what I'm saying, what I'm doing, what I'm showing you. So you'll be able to have very detailed explanations from me with your questions here live. Because remember, like I'm showing you guys this because I want you guys to try it out and be successful. I'm showing you guys this because it works for me, and I want you guys to try it so that it works for you as well. So if you do have any questions, make sure you ask them, because there's no stupid questions. Like, if you have a question and you're like, this is probably not a good question, chances are that everyone else watching has the same questions and they're thinking exactly the same like you're doing. And usually what happens is when somebody asks a question, everyone else is very happy that they did. So on the back to the 1 hour here, I would say that, yeah, okay, no, we probably do not want to long this because of the overall bearish characteristics here. So we go to the 5 minute, the 15 minute. There's just such a big gap here. There's just such a big gap here. And imagine if imagine if the overall trend was bullish, right? And imagine if we can get a trade up here, all the way up to the monthly open, which is also up here. So all the way up here. Imagine if we can just let this trade run all the way up to that area. It's possible, of course, with just trailing our stops up. So this would then be a 5.75 hour trade. Very, very good. So let's see what happens here. Where do we want to start moving our stop loss? I would say we move our stop loss up here, because now we have a higher high. I mean, a higher low. So that's our new stop loss. And we're just going to continue. Breaks out. Now it hits the 4 hour 20 EMA. And at this point, I want to move our stops up, because the chance of getting rejected here is very high. And if we do get stopped out here, it's still a 3.3 hour trade. So that's very good. We're going to continue. And yeah, I'm just going to keep that stop loss here. But also look at the behavior of the trend. I uploaded a video yesterday where I actually do do trade analysis and behavior of the trend to know if I should exit or not. And I would say that you have two options here. You look at this as a low time frame range. And basically what you're going to say is, I have my stop loss here so that when price breaks down, I'm going to get stopped out. Or you could say, what's happening here is we're consolidating at a high time frame resistance area and the 4 hour 20. So we're consolidating at resistance. We're creating a range after a powerful move to the upside. Maybe it's just better to exit. Okay, maybe it's just better to exit right here for a 4-hour trade. A 4-hour trade is very, very good. Or you could risk the 4-hour trade for a 5.7-hour trade, and you're going to get a 3.4-hour profit if it breaks down. I would just put my TP up here for a 4.7-hour trade, because I know that I'm now secure this position, and whatever happens, I'm going to get a 3.5-hour trade. But I'm risking about half an hour to get almost 2 hour extra, which is, in my opinion, definitely worth it. So you can see here that we have now these trades, honestly, these trades, 6-hour trades, are not going to come along very often. You're not going to get these very often. But let's assume you have a 30% win rate. And with that 30% win rate, you don't need a lot of 5 to 6-hour trades to be highly profitable. Because remember, if you have a couple of winners, that's 6R, you can basically have an insanely low win rate and still be around break even. So imagine that you have you're winning every fifth trade. All right. So you have 5 losers, and then the next trade is going to be a winner. If that winner would be a 6R, you're at break even. So you have a very low win rate, but still at break even. So letting the trades run is going to is going to enable you to have much lower win rate, because the average R is going to be much higher. Now, I would have hoped that we would have gotten any long signals here to actually take a trade live. But while we wait for an actual live signal, I want to show you a trade I took this morning, a bad trade, because obviously I can't only show the good trades, because I want to show you as well the bad trades to make sure you understand what not to trade. Okay, so we're going to use the replay function here. So let's just quickly analyze the trend. We have a low, a higher low, and a higher low. That's the general structure of this trend. So we're done with the trend analysis, at least on the lower time frames. It's a bullish trend. We want to get in on a break and retest. Is this a break and retest? Yes. So it's a break and retest. Everything aligns. We have a strong long signal. Now this wick is I usually look at the first trouble areas at the candle closes, so this would just not be very good. We can go to the 1 minute, and on the 1 minute, we see that we have up here a fairly good level. So on the 5 minute, that would be that level right there. And this is probably a trade I would have entered if it gets above the 50. So let's wait for the indicator to load. And then the next candle right there is that bullish candle. And I would probably try to get in here. Stops below the wicks. TP, I would try to put my TP up in this area. Now, the reason why I have that white horizontal is if you go to the 4 hour, you'll see that it's the very low of this overall resistance area. So let's see if I would have gotten filled on this one. I would probably not have gotten a fill on this trade. No, okay, so now we're this trade is gone, because now price starts to consolidate at a resistance area, and this is now not the type of price action I want to enter. Remember, I want to enter here and move straight up, enter here, move straight up, enter here, move straight up. Now it's consolidating. I'm not filled. So what I do in this case, I remove this order. Now let's look at the trade that I actually took and why it's a bad one. So first of all, remember when we looked at the 4 hour, you can zoom out and you can add, like, basically just add a level right here. This whole level right here is resistance. So basically what I'm doing is I'm scalping. I'm taking a long scalp straight into high time frame resistance. Now, why is that a bad thing? Because resistance are for selling. It's simple as that. You don't buy resistance. And that's basically what I did right here. I'm not sure why. Probably is being stupid again. But you're looking at this and you're like, this is resistance. I shouldn't buy this. I looked at this and I say like, oh, good level here or something. I don't know. So we go back to the 5 minutes. And I've written this. So what I do is I'm writing notes on all my charts when scalping, because it's just 2-minute trades to keep track of everything and do the notes afterwards. So what I've written here is, let's see, I've written this area doesn't look great. Looks like price is consolidating too much. PA is way too compact. Price is currently at high time frame resistance area as well. Not what I want to see. For this reason, I'm exiting the trade close to entry. I need to follow my initial gut feeling here. Okay, so let me show you what happened. I got the signal right here. Okay, that's where I got the signal. I believe on that candle, I put my orders in. I got filled. And now I'm watching this and I'm like, why did I take the trade? Okay, why did I take the trade? So by doing trend behavior analysis, remember, check the video I released yesterday. It should be on my channel. It's about trend behavior. It's very important. You can go to the Twitter profile here and you'll see this video right here. Please check this one out. I'm gonna post it in the chat as well. It's very important you understand what trend analysis and behavior, like trend behavior analysis, is all about. So check that video out. So by doing trend behavior analysis, we can see that we want to get in on the quick bounce here, and then like consolidation, but still a rounded motion and move higher. The first trouble areas, or the highs, this one and this one, is kind of like this sort of structure. Okay, it's like spikes up and then straight down to give you that entry. So straight up, straight down, straight up and straight down. Here you're getting a bounce and then it goes up, and the high is just a sort of consolidation. Okay, so now you want to enter here, but you're basically buying what looks to be a possible range. Okay, and you're basically buying something else. This is not the trade. This is not the trend that you previously saw. This is something else. So now I'm in the trade, and at this point I'm like, well, this is stupid, right? So I think, yeah, around this area down here, I exited this trade, because now, I mean, look at this. It's just a low time frame range. And what happened after entry is this went straight down. And what happened now is the change in behavior of this trend started a low time frame downtrend. So if you look at this structure here, and you compare this structure with this, you see that this is an uptrend. This is a downtrend. And what gave us the clues of a change in behavior, actually, what gave us the clues of a break in structure was this area, which is a change in behavior. It is a change in behavior because this high is very, very different from this high and this high, and even this structure here. All right, so now we're getting a long signal on USDJPY. You can't see it because it's behind my face, but we're going to go over to USDJPY, and we're going to see if we can find anything interesting. So this is not the right chart. USDJPY is right here, so we're going to move that up today. Move that over to the middle chart, and we're going to look at USDJPY. This is a long signal that we got on USDJPY right now, and we're going to be analyzing this, and I'm going to tell you why this is obviously a very bad trade. So why is this a bad trade? Well, because it's basically it's a low time frame range, which would be very obvious on the 1 minute. So this is the 1 minute. You can see right here. This is a very obvious range on the 1 minute. We are not range traders. We're trend following traders. So we want a trend. Now, let me show you what a good trade on this would look like, which is quite simple. A good trade would look like this. I'm pretty sure you can all see it already. This would be a great trade. What if price hit that weekly open right there and then went straight down here in just a couple of candles, hit the reload zone, bullish engulfing candle, closing above the 50? That's a great trade. We enter on the 50, stops below the reload zone. And in this case, I think at the first trouble area here on the weekly open is just absolutely perfect. Maybe we should just exit fully at the first trouble area in this case because it's confluent with the weekly open. Let's do some high time frame analysis. Let's go out to the 4 hour. What's the trend? I would say that now this candle right here is obviously not the candle we're getting when the setup forms. But I would say that, yeah, I mean, the overall trend is bullish. We are below like this level is not only a level on the 5 minute, it's also a pretty good level on the 4 hour. We go down to the 1 hour. It's a good level on the 1 hour. So we could see like a bounce here, and this would be high time frame resistance right here. The weekly open straight below. It's a perfect structure right here. Now, obviously, we're not getting that, but we're getting instead, which is the same thing in the failed trade, is a consolidation at a resistance area. So price is consolidating, and then it's giving us that signal. So this is not when you want to buy. You want to see price come down and give you that break and retest, and this is where you want to have that signal. So today this system is quite slow with giving me any signals. Let's see if all the alerts are activated. Sometimes for some reason some of the alerts get deactivated automatically, but they all seem to be active. So before I end this live stream, let me know if you do have any questions. And while I wait for your questions, I will go through all of these markets here. So we're going to start with this one. We're going to see if we have some type of price action here that might look interesting. And before I go, I'll also take a look at my 4 hour chart for any swing trading entries. So I do like this structure where you can wait for scalp signals while also analyzing the swing system. So you can look for swing trade opportunities while also waiting for the scalping system to give you entries. Yeah, I think today is just overall not a great day to be scalping, I would say. I'm not getting anything of interest here. So I guess that's it. I just have to wait for signals, and while waiting for the signals, I'll look at the 4 hour chart, the scalping. I mean the swing trading screen here, and we're gonna go through the first list. So on AUD NCD, we have a breakout, but that breakout is straight into resistance. I'm watching something here. I'm just not sure what it is, but like I like this area. So if price could like break and retest this area, maybe we have a trade. Not sure. NCD CAD. This was a trade that we missed right here. It almost hit our entry, but we missed it right there. You could also see that the swing system is just the same as the scalping system, basically. The only difference with the swing system and the scalping system is I'm always exiting at the first trouble area, the TP1, because in swing trading it's like what people don't realize is, well, a lot of people don't realize is that the timing aspect, like the time aspect when swing trading is very important. The more time you do spend in a trade, the higher the chances are that that move will reverse, price is going to come back to entry. So I'd like to get out quicker, which is not maybe what you think about when you hear swing trading, because usually you might think that swing trading is all about holding your positions for a long time. But I've seen that a lot of my positions will hit entry, hit TP1, and then get back to entry. And usually what I do is at TP1, if I would have more profits lower, I would move my stops to entry, and that would just be a very small winner. Euro 50, glad I didn't take that trade. It just broke straight out. CAD JPY. AD JPY has a nice breakout as well, so I'm kind of looking for some type of retest of this level here. Euro CAD is an interesting trade where now this was the I think this was the ECB announcement, euro inflation, I believe. So the spreads were very wide here. So I didn't take this trade because of the news event, but even if we did take this trade, we would most likely get stopped out by the increased spread and gets mad slippage right there. And GBP CAD is lining up for a good break and retest here. So basically what I want to see is a move up into the reload zone, hit that 420, and then continue lower. So that's something I'm going to put an alert on. And then we have this one right here, which is a trade I looked at but never entered. I kind of feel like I should have entered this one, but it was just hard to get an entry here. But this is a good example of a really good example of where you have a move down into the reload zone. The reload zone is also complemented with the daily 50, the daily 20, the monthly and weekly open, and the 50 right there. Like so, as soon as you reclaim the 4-hour moving averages, I would have just probably entered here. Stops could have been down here. So that would have been a really good trade, and it's a real shame I did not enter that one. So that's definitely a missed opportunity. NCD/USD, not liking this at all, not interested in this. Gold is giving us a possible short scenario here. So for gold, we would probably be looking at something like this. 1.5 hour trade or something like that. So gold, I think gold right now would be one of the most interesting pairs. Other than that, I'm not really, from a swing trading perspective, the markets have been really quiet, and I'm like, I guess I don't really have to even look at crypto or Bitcoin. I mean, there's nothing going on here. You look at the daily, it's just it's just a very, very boring range, and overall it's just very slow market. All right, nice. I do like that. It's I do like that you find the like how I use the reload zone. I know a lot of people have adopted the way I'm using the reload zone with good success, and it's amazing how well it works. I'm really happy that you're getting good results as well. And if you don't have a lot of time trading, I mean, for me, it feels like if you don't have a lot of time trading, you should probably be swing trading, in my opinion. Right? We have another, but I know what you mean. Like maybe when you do have the time, you want to be scalping. So we do have a signal on GBP JPY. Where can I find GBP JPY? I think it's this one. Okay, so we have a long signal on GBP JPY. Is this a good signal? No, because again, we're doing that trend analysis, like trend behavior analysis. We get a good trend here with like highs and lows, and then this is just one big move, and now it's consolidating between the 4-hour 50 and the 4-hour 20, and it's kind of like forming some sort of range. So this is not a good signal. So that most of the signals that I'm getting are not good signals, but you'll see that some of the signals are really good. All right, guys, I would like to thank you all for joining. It's been it's been great having so many people in here and all very good questions and everything. I love that you guys are engaged in the live streams and continue being engaged and ask me questions during the live streams, and I'll be able to kind of like break down your questions in detail and help you out with any problems that you're having. I will probably be live streaming around the same time next week as well, and have more educational videos for you guys. So make sure you all subscribe to the channel and like the video. It's very much appreciated. It helps me a lot, and also lets me know what kind of content you're interested in. All right, that's it. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you guys in the next one.